Not an hour.
Man, like
30 minutes.
like my just like usually conversation.
30-minute podcast. I'm meant to be like, okay.
Well, I don't know. It depends where it just goes. But
Mm.
the way you sit, it seems like you're about to run. So maybe we'll do this in 30 minutes. Unless you get like really relaxed, yeah. Then we could
I'm
do
so
an
relaxed
hour.
right now. You have no idea.
In this episode of Madhouse, we speak to Maria Sheba Atukunda, a graduate architect and designer, and talk about her process and all the cool things she's been up to.
Cool. So Maria, how are you?
Some voice. Is that the voice you use when you're talking to a rabbit?
So useless. Yeah, so voice you took. That's the voice I used to when I'm talking to a rabbit.
To a rabbit, yeah. Like, so
Antoinette.
Maria, what's up? How are things going? Okay, cool. Well, God, things are going great. Thanks for asking.
We're using our radio voice.
Yeah, we're using our radio voices now. This is 93.3
Madhouse FM.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us who you are, what you do.
Who I am? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm Atukunda Sheba.
Sheba.
Actually, it's Sheba. I know I keep calling myself Sheba because it's a single E. So I'm Atukunda Maria Sheba. I am a show creator. There's this cool show I'm working on, guys. If you want to fund it,
No,
please.
we don't want.
If you want to fund it, if you want to fund it, follow it. It's called a Ugandan design show, and it's going to do amazing things, by the way. So that's just like a starter. That's one. I am a graduate architect with a curiosity for all things design. So I do interior design, stage design, production design. What else do? I am a project manager with an amazing youth ministry called the Collective Uganda that tries to help young people find purpose in God for life on earth. I feel like I said that too fast. That helps young people find purpose in God for life on earth. So if you have kids at home that need direction, Bambi, please send them our way. But also send some donations so that we
I'm
can
now
support
collecting
them.
royalties because there are too many plugs already in this intro. Now I'm
So-
coming for my royalties. Well,
So
odds and everyone at odds. Motive.
yeah, a
I'm
Ugandan
collecting
design
royalties.
show, the Collective UG.
Royalties.
And my interior design business. Yeah, so that's what I do in a no, wait, hold up. There's another thing I do. There's an amazing film community known as the Afridom Film Community that I co-founded with a friend of mine called Afri that helps young girls learn how to do film. Yeah, so it's like a female movement. You can attack me later. But yeah, it's female. Nothing is you can make it male. Yeah, that's what I do in a nutshell.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
I
let's.
have a question
Yes.
about a nutshell. Why is it called a nutshell? In a nutshell, this is because the shell is tiny, therefore
Yeah.
little fits within a. Okay.
Anything. Yeah.
So I
it's
guess
in a
mine wasn't
nutshell.
in a nutshell. It was like in a pod.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Cool. So I mean that's a very long intro, but cool plugs. So I'm very interested, Mary. How did this all craziness begin? Because you seem to be doing what do you call it? Multi-hyphenated, like dash designer, filmmaker. But like, when did all this when did it start?
When did my craziness start?
Like when did this bug jump? Like where this to just love design and just be fascinated with it.
Well, I
And
think it's in my DNA. Hey, because I come from a line of creative people. My granddad was creative. Wow, he designed his own house. Like, what is that? He designed 2 of his houses, and that was like what, in the 60s, 50s. Like, what is that? So my granddad was amazing. My dad designed stuff as well, so I was like designing and building things together. My uncle, who is also a reverend and a psychiatrist, also designs stuff. I just think it's a family of of creatives, so it's in my DNA. We're just crazy. We're always trying out things. Yeah, it's my DNA.
Cool. So what did school? Tell us about school and like your whole thing when it came to.
From the beginning.
If
In
you can,
the
in a
beginning.
nutshell.
No, please.
In a nutshell,
No,
tell
I'm
us
going to-
how
I'm going to
school
jazz.
started for you in the beginning.
Okay, in the beginning.
Nursery, which school did you go to?
Oh, I actually went to my granddad's school. It's a school in Lugogo called Lugogo Nursery School. I think it's now called Lugogo Junior Academy. So if you have kids and you're looking for loving teachers, Kalango here on the mix, it's in Lugogo.
Maria, we
So-
came for podcast, not the advertising. Free like yo.
Shout out to my granddad from beyond the, grave. So I went to an amazing school that my granddad's sister taught at. So it was just like a whole family
Your granddad
affair.
taught art in the school.
No, my granddad taught. I know what he taught. I think it was just the HM, and the owner. But his sister taught in the very school. So just know my crib has been in a classroom since before I started talking. So I learned how to speak quickly and write and draw like chap. Can you imagine your crib being in a classroom? Like those are goals. Then I went to Kampala Parents School, which was like it's like a kilometer away from from the school I did nursery from, which was amazing. Where I met amazing people like Afri and Inyanga John and Sebale Daudi, who also was in my year that I work with now. Bunch of people. Anyway,
this should be a video podcast now that we're announcing all these people.
And I feel like I'm digressing. Even I did my high school at Namagunga, Mountain Mary's Namagunga.
Gungas.
Yeah, Gungas. Very, very exciting. Yeah. By the way, I was like deputy head girl there. Wow. I was such a serious babe. Why am I so serious? Then I did my university at Makar University, where I did a bachelor's of architecture and design, architectural design, at the Faculty of Technology, aka SEDAT, aka College of Engineering, Design, Art and Technology. Shout out to all those lecturers out there. I don't miss you at all, but you guys are amazing people.
Okay.
You asked.
I asked for school in a nutshell, and you nailed it.
You can fix this in post.
So I'm very interested in like understanding like what was your like, because it seems like you're from a very like family background where like asking questions is not asking questions is allowed, and like however silly the question is, and then I'm wondering how this fits within your school sort of dynamic. Especially they mentioned Namagunga, and I'm wondering like Namagunga is one of those like schools that is known for its like very like rigid like systematic system of output. It's I guess a bias, or it's like known for the output that comes out of Namagunga is not very, hey, let's just jump out the box a bit and try some things out. It's like certain output comes out of Namagunga, the kind of women who come and you get like come out from there, think a certain way, you get, and then Maria shows up.
Actually, that is a bias.
Yeah, it is a bias.
It's a very strong bias. Let me tell you about Namagunga. Namagunga is a normal school.
It is a normal school.
I joined Namagunga thinking I was going to find like, I don't know, like nerds. I was going to find nerds, but I found all sorts of people. I think the only way it shaped us was in behavior, mostly. So it's mostly, how do you sit? You sit with your ankles crossed, okay? Sit with your back straight, ankles crossed. Make sure you shower, shave, wear deodorant. So it's like mostly behavioral things, like respect people when someone
maybe that's what I think people, because I think maybe at the end of the 6 years or 5 years or 4 years you've been in Namagunga, you sort of come out with certain like behavior structure. Maybe everyone has sort of like put in a bias of.
I can give you a list.
Like I mean, like guys and girls also sort of have a certain bias that everyone sort of knows.
Yeah, well, I guess, but it's very mild. Like I'm looking at all my friends that went to Namagunga, and we're not so similar. The girls who are similar are the girls who joined the school behaving that way. Does that make sense? So if you join the school a bookworm and a nerd, the odds that you would leave the school as something different are slim to none. You'd remain a book nerd, and I don't know. So I found Namagunga very normal. It had rigid rules, yes, but as mostly in my head. So I never noticed people complain about Namagunga like a problem, but I'm like, wow, you guys care too much about what's happening around you. Like, take a chill pill and just live your life, and nobody will disturb you. So please stop boring us. I know, but
wow, stop boring us. I really feel that's a t-shirt right there. Stop boring us.
Stop boring us.
That one I can take and make money.
Yeah. I really feel like it's complaint. It's like you just have nothing to talk about, maybe. Namagunga was such a normal school. We had a strict headmistress, but then most schools have strict HMs. It's only if you were very intentional about being the baddest and trying to be the bad guy that the system messed with you. Yeah, but then some of us like went to the school without a problem, and weren't exactly like goody goodies, but just
But you left head girl, so I guess you had a lot of haters. Like,
oh no,
you're the nice deputy head.
the way I became one was interesting, but that's a story for another day.
I was about to first drop something, so let's first quote that story. But
That's a story for another day because I was recommended by a teacher of mine, my English teacher, my literature teacher. We had a good relationship. I think it's because of my English. I don't know. I can't tell. But
sure, man.
anyway,
No one's hating here.
are you seeing this random jazz? Anyway,
That's what this podcast is about. Random jazz, about
randomness.
cool
So
things.
people actually, you guys actually are going to listen to this randomness. let's proceed. So I joined Namagunga as a person who thought out of the box. I didn't.
Yeah.
I joined I was already an out of the box person, and the people I grew up with, that's my family and my friends, were out of the box people.
Okay.
Yes. So if you are, I think it goes back to where you grew up. Like your family. Namagunga didn't help me become think out of
Anything.
the box.
Okay.
It was it's a normal
Okay.
it's a normal high school, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm just saying the biases around it sort of.
Yeah, they should stop. Because I had this one
I mean,
lecturer who
like-
chewed beef on day one because we said Namagunga. Like, get over yourself. Get a life. It's just a frigging school. We are frigging people. Yeah, just keep calm, man. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. That's that. I mean, we might end up into a school rant. Podcast changes. Just be like these schools. So after campus, I'm very interested. How do you navigate? Do you go and draw lines for a living?
Do I go and draw lines for a living? No. After campus, I decided I didn't want to practice architecture. No, actually, during campus. After all my internship
5 years.
internships as
Okay,
like
university. 5 years.
5 years at
Wow.
MOOC. Wow. Actually, 5.
Take a leave from Nkosi.
But they get out with a degree. Don't they have like issues? They get out with a degree in architecture.
Yeah.
Actually, I got a degree in environmental design or something, and they have to go and do a master's for them to be certified as architects or something.
I think, but
There's
I don't
some
know.
jazz around there. I'd rather go through the 5 years at MOOC than go through the drama that Nkosi guys go through.
Well,
it's
but at least, like, they have a master's. Okay, yeah, but anyway,
It-
depends on what you want.
It
So.
depends what you want from life. I like design in general. Like studying art just opens your eyes. You start to see where design is. Like in that flask you're using to drink. Hi Gab, nice flask.
I don't know. The
government
gave it to me.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so that's
Taxpayers.
design, right? So there's a way arc, especially at MOOC, because it was more conceptual than anything, which people have us for.
Yeah.
But I love it. It's conceptual because it opens your mind up to all the things you can do with design and all the solutions in design that you can come up with through design. Yeah, so I love design, but then I didn't see myself sitting at a PC,
Okay.
8 to 5,
Drawing lines.
and man, no offense, but not many Ugandans are willing to be creative with their buildings. It's of course it's a risk.
Yeah, it's a risk. Yeah,
It's a risk.
It's trying to sell the risk to someone with his money and say, hey, the building has been carved.
Yeah. And that life of someone showing you a picture and being like, I want this house. I was like, I don't think that's the kind of life I want for myself. So I don't know. After that I just branched out and I was like, what else can I do with this design? So I hung out with a lot of musicians. OMG. Shout out to all the guys I used to try to sing with. Shout out to you, Josh. OMG. I hope you're listening.
Which Josh?
Josh, what's his second name? Nsimbi. Yeah,
Nsimbi.
when a band together. It was called Black Notice. It lasted like 2 months. It was amazing. Amazing
Black
experience. Shout out Olara and Jose. Black Notice. Wow. It is so so I used to hang out with musicians, and at that time stage design wasn't a thing.
Mhm.
I think it was a thing that was not even popular then. It was a thing that involved just getting a screen and then you throw some graphics onto the screen.
Most times.
Yeah, you just throw graphics and you're like, hey, I've done work. Yeah, and someone pays you 20 ma. Wow. Anyways,
Maria, they pay 20 to throw graphics on the screen.
I wish. I'm being paid something also to throw graphics on the screen. Anyway, so at that time, there were a lot of upcoming artists and they didn't have that 20 ma for stage and lights. But they wanted to have shows. So we tried to get creative with more affordable material like paper. Yeah, you imagine spending 60K on a whole stage and it looks amazing, you guys. God is good. Anyway, so I had a lot of musician friends
Mhm.
who needed sets. I ended
Mhm.
up doing sets for them for their concerts that were low budget.
Yeah.
And yeah, eventually they grow up and start ordering the higher budget things, and your budget start moving from like
Lola, yeah, they
60K.
are growing. They grow.
No, they do, because we said there's an artist I worked with. We said that like 60K for her set,
Yeah.
just paper and glue
Yeah.
and sellotape,
Mm.
and then her next show was 5 next.
Where is rich?
Then
Maria,
I'm
we should
not
hang out with you.
rich. I'm just saying like the whole show, not just me. By the way, guys, I charge like 800K only at the moment to like design your stage for you and like manage it.
Times 2. These days.
Just 800K, but I'm so affordable. Yeah, but that's just my money, not the whole thing.
Oh, that's just designing.
That's just designing.
You see? Maria's rich. That's just drawing the thing on paper.
Anyway, I'm done throwing that kalongo there. So I was still saying, so it's like we grew. We grew from the 60K budget to 5M budget to like 7M budget now, 20M budget. So it's like you just allow that Rome wasn't built in one day and start from the ground up.
Yeah. 7 million Uganda shillings for those who might be confused. They might think we're talking dollars.
Oh, we can also try speaking.
800K dollars.
I wish, man.
Yeah.
But we're almost there. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm even undersold myself. No, you guys, I charge more depending on the amount of work that needs to be done. Please cut that out in post.
No, we're not cutting on this out. In this podcast, the editor has no time to start removing things. We just leave it as it is.
Anyway,
So that's how you got into design.
that's how I got into stage design.
And furniture? Furniture is the one I'm very...
Yes, because he wants to use me. No, Gab, I will not let you use me
I'm not
for
going to
free
use
furniture.
you. Free furniture? How? Compare you.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
But you know my rates. That's just
We
my
don't know
my
your
design.
rates.
I just
don't
told
know.
you 800K just for the design.
$800,000 for you.
800K shillings only for
Okay.
designing. It's very affordable.
For drawing, it's cheap.
No,
Yeah.
it's not just drawing. It's ideating. It's
Yes,
years
yes,
and
sure,
years
sure.
of research and
Sure.
education. 5 whole years in school. It's like
Yeah.
I did an interior design course online as well. So
Yeah.
just
As I said,
support my hustle, Gab, and pay me for what you want me to do for you. Okay, so about the interior
support my
design
hustle.
thing,
Sure.
I was doing stages,
Yeah.
and I had friends who wanted furniture, but they didn't want to do the work themselves of going and find a carpenter and say, this is what I want. Or they wanted something, what's the word for it? They wanted something that was original. Is the word original? There's a word for that, a more exotic word for original.
I guess with your words, just original is the word.
Okay, fine. If I wanted like something designed.
Mm.
Yes, so they're like, okay, which person do we see doing cool stuff that can actually help us with this? And they're like, yeah, Maria can help you do this stuff. And I'm like, guys, I'm not an interior designer. They're like, it's okay, you're a designer, you know what to get. I'm like, okay, fine, cool, give me your money. So essentially they started giving me their money, some to go to town and buy.
Should be animated even. It's like we just draw a tiny Maria like this.
Like just
Like,
this
give
random
me-
thing,
yeah,
it's like,
just
give me
like,
your money.
Give me your money.
Yeah, so I realized that if you want to start a business in interior design, people mostly need managers. Like go sit with a carpenter and look at what he's doing. Like go with drawings and make sure you can tell what he's doing from the get-go.
Okay.
What else? Go downtown and make sure the guys selling you the curtains are not giving you less fabric than you had agreed on, or make sure that the dimensions are right, because those are the things that mess people up. You know those memes of what I asked for and what I actually got.
Yeah.
The things that result in those memes there's a gap there, and that gap is management.
Okay.
So that's what I basically do. I manage, but when someone wants something custom made, there's another word for it that's even more exotic. We'll get there. We're almost there.
Those tailboard things, eh?
Anyway, so sometimes I get clients like that. Shout out to you, Rachel Mutabingwa. Wow, you're amazing.
Let's
So
end
she's-
this podcast now.
Why?
These shout outs. It's like those radios where they throw so many ads. You never enjoy the show. Just
No,
like
I'm not advertising. I'm just
I'm
saying
just-
that she's an amazing
just teasing
client.
you. Don't
Because
worry.
okay, fine, she was open to trying out something new, and
Yeah.
the result was amazing. Like, can you imagine being open to trying out something different, something made just for you? Because we got pages from her. She's an author. This is not an announcement, but she's an author. Check her out, Raz Mutabingwa. And we got We got pages from her book, her favorite pages, and printed them onto fabric and made patchwork out of that and made her a couch using that patchwork. So it's like hers essentially, because what's on the couch is
Howard's.
her. So, and it shouts her essence. So the clients like that were like, ooh, essence. And the clients like, I just want that. I think it looks like that thing on Pinterest. I'm like, it's okay. You can also give me your money because we all need money.
Get ready, I'm coming. I'm going to be like
With
Pinterest.
Pinterest,
Yeah, be like, you see this one?
It's okay. I have
Don't you-
assistants.
It's
It's okay.
For assistance.
They'll handle you.
Until now, I pay 800K to be handled by the assistant.
The assistant has to be paid, and I have to take my commission. So we gotta grow, man. Don't be stingy with them shillings.
I
I think shillings are for stingy people. Okay, we need to advance to dollars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And I'm very interested. I want to know how you deal with failure.
With what?
Failure.
OMG, guys, I used to be afraid of failure. Wow. So in art school, the one thing I didn't want ever was a retake. Like, I was like, if I get a retake, I will die. So there was this one time when we had a presentation, like 2 weeks to the final, and I had drawn an image, and my perspective was of a tiny building looked like an airport to my lecturer, and he was so unamused. He's like, this is a failing project. What the flip is this? What is this? It's like, I don't give a rat's ass about what you think, but this is a failing project. 20%. So he writes a huge 20 out of 100 on my paper, and I'm like, nada, I ain't getting a retake, because a retake in art school is like another year. Can you imagine other years on top of 5 years? What is that?
Grow old school.
So I fear failure to the extent of I didn't sleep.
Wow.
In the next 2 weeks, I did everything I could to stay awake and finish at work. I called whoever I had to call to consult. Like, I called 5th years, 4th years. At the time I was in 2nd year, 3rd years, and I was like, guys, how do I pass? So like, I did everything in my power to make sure I didn't fail. So the presentation day, I was burnt out. I presented, but the moment I was done, I fainted.
Wow. It's intense.
Next thing I know.
Anxiety, just like.
Yeah, and then my dad had to pick me up from my room in campus, in my hall, and I was put on drip. Yeah, I was put on drip for a night. Can you imagine? All because I didn't want to fail. So I was really afraid of failure until this one time when I was failed by a lecturer. It was my research. I was doing my research thesis, and some problems arose, and my marks weren't submitted. There's some jazz in there. Mob jazz. So she said, I'm going to give you an extra semester of research. And friends, I had never, it was my 5th year. Yeah. Like, and I had vowed to myself that I'd never get any retake, because
and then they give an extra semester.
Can you imagine? So you're at the finish line, and then someone says
extra time.
And
a semester is like what? 4 months?
It's a semester. Yeah, it's like 4 months. 4 months.
So they just give you an extra 4 months.
An extra 4 months.
8 months in school. You spend the whole year in campus.
Actually, yeah, but the good thing is it was research, and research you can show up like once. If you had to show up really on campus, you don't even have to show up on campus. You just have to find your mentor, your tutor, wherever they are. It can be in a restaurant, at their office. So I really didn't have to. I didn't step in MOOC for the whole time I did those extra 4 months. So I was so stressed out that I got chronic back pain because I used to fear failure, like a problem. I got chronic back pain. I thought I had angina that had complication, until another friend of mine who was in med school said she had the same thing, but it was stress related. So I found out that I was stressed, man. But then, like, after that, I was like, from failing, so many good things happened to me, because I did my research thesis in Karamoja, and I met such amazing people. And I was like, if I hadn't been bold enough to go this side, even if they gave me an extra 4 months, like, I wouldn't have met these amazing missionaries and lived with them and gotten to learn about their lifestyle and traveled this much on my own and stressed out my parents. Hi, Daddy. I used to leave Kampala at 1 a.m. because only one bus goes to Kotidu and it leaves at 1 a.m. Anyway, so I don't know. I failed, but there were perks to. Okay, don't say I failed because I didn't. There were other. Anyway, let me not go there. So, but there are perks to it. So I realized that each time we fail, I guess, you learn something new. So it's not really failing; it's just learning something new. So you can rebrand failure as learning something new. So each time I get clients and our projects don't work out, I don't like beat myself up like, oh, OMG, I'm such a Nella, please. I'm like, I always tell them from my get-go, we're experimenting. Do you trust me? If they say yes, we're like, okay, cool, let's do this, but we're experimenting. This could go anyway. We're learning. Yeah, so actually, it didn't go bad always, but there's this one time it went terribly wrong, man. But at the end of the day, I still learned something.
Yeah.
From it. Like at that time, I was working alone. So after that happened, then I started getting people to work with, started looking at my work processes. So it's really, failure is learning. Failure is a part of life. So how do I feel about failure? What is failure?
It's non-existent.
What is failure? It's not a thing. It's just a thing.
Construct.
It is, and it's actually encouraged by our education system. I'm about going to rant about the education system.
Let's go.
Yeah, because
Another
we
t-shirt to
are.
happen.
No, it's like we are rated. Is it rating?
Yeah.
By an exam, like by a number you receive on an exam paper.
Yeah.
So if you're 98%, then you're a success.
Yeah.
Then if you're 70%, then you're a failure. But 70% isn't little.
Yeah. True.
So it's a weird system. So in your head you're like, okay, if I get below 98%, therefore I'm a failure. But you're not a failure. It's just a different
level of like intelligence. Or
yes, it's just a different. Not even intelligence. It's just different. You just see things differently. Yeah. So what's failure?
Awesome. So as we end the podcast, I usually ask the guests wise words.
Oh, yeah, I wish I had wise words. Wise words.
Cook, I don't know. You can start forging some, or we can be like, who do you want to shout out to? Since your podcast
is a shout out.
Yeah, just be like I'd like to dedicate this the end of this podcast to.
You just missed me shouting out. Yeah. So I think just do it. Shoot your shot. I feel life is too short to worry about things like failure, man. Life is too short to worry about failure. So go try out that thing, build that, design that random house. If it collapses, man, deal with the lawsuits. But then move on with your life. Go register that company. If you fail to pay your taxes, pay the what?
The government back their taxes.
Pay the government slowly, but then move on with your life. Like don't let failure hold you down. Like a mad person, just freaking do it. Like Nike has like the best tagline. Just do it. That's it. If you have an awesome idea, nobody cares. Like bring it to life. Like really don't care about what's in your head. We care about what we can see, what's tangible. So stay relevant. Do what's in your head. Just friggin' do it. Yeah. Does that sound wise enough? I try something else.
You want to try something else?
No, I really think that's it. Oh yes, and also be yourself. Be ordinary, or with a double D, or double D-I. Yeah, be ordinary. Don't let anyone put you down. Like if you want to dress a particular way, just do it. Okay, the truth is nobody cares. Yeah, so
just do it.
Just do it.
And be ordinary.
Just do it. Don't stop thinking so much about what everybody thinks, because people don't care. We all move on. Man, life goes on. The sun will rise. It will set. Lastly,
and we're all going to die.
Oh yeah, by the way, at the end of the day we die. So it's all vanity. If you want that multicolored hair, just do it. Your parents will get over themselves. Even if they cane you and break you, you'll get out of hospital, hopefully. If you don't, you die, but then everyone is going to die. Yeah, what else? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and also please get over the whole traditional school thing. Like, get a life. They're just schools. They're just schools. Like, they are just schools with big names, period. They're just schools with cultures and histories.
Still big names these days.
I feel like they still have some. Like, when you hear that thing, you're like,
still there.
Okay,
but I guess it's for if you're like 37 years old upwards.
Like 7 up. Oh yeah, because these days it's more like Vine International, and these days it's like
guys don't like just. It seems like these days like what can you do? It's like a lot of that conversation
of what can you do, not where you're from.
Like, guys are like, oh, you went to, and then they're like, oh, what are you doing? And then you're like, oh, I do this, and guys like more interested in you. But if you're like, I went to Buddha,
and like then what happened?
That's like they don't even. It seems like that doesn't
hold water anymore. Yeah. So please move on. Move on. Thanks.
Move on. Cool. Thank you so much, Maria, for your
time. It was nice to jazz random things.
Yeah, random things.
Say hi to the rabbit.
Antoinette. You want to give a shout out to Antoinette in the
give a
podcast?
shout out to Antoinette, who
Her
likes
Highness.
eating beans.
Her
She eats
Highness.
beans and she makes random sounds after eating them. I don't know if she's farting. She
No,
that's
she's just
sounding.
she's actually angry. She's like pissed.
After eating the beans, she gets pissed
Just,
because she wants to fart. Anyway, shout out to Antoinette the rabbit.
shouting out Antoinette in the podcast. She's famous. She's getting famous.
But
Like
back
this.
up, just fix this in post.
No, this podcast is going out like this.